47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. This tree has 56 leaves. And I have a huge problem. You see, over the last 2 weeks, I developed an obsession. But in order to tell you all about it, first we gotta start from where we last left off. Fine. Let's try something else then. Two weeks ago I nearly managed to speedrun Minecraft. Well, to say that I managed to speedrun it is gonna be a bit of an exaggeration. I nearly managed to beat it under an hour. I mean, most of the speedrunning times are varying in the 8 to 9 minute mark, and the world record is 7 minutes, so who am I to say that I managed to speedrun it in 58 minutes? But the problem is that I nearly managed. I didn't actually achieve what I wanted to do. And ever since then I've been trying to get better. Back then I thought that I had learned the basics, you know, I knew how to pretty much do everything, I just couldn't do it fast. But the more I looked into speedrunning tutorials, the more I realized that I actually knew nothing. I still had that same problem that I spoke about in the previous video. I couldn't one-cycle the Ender Dragon, and also I had a problem with the layouts of pretty much all of the bastions. I had no clue where the gold there is, I had no clue how to find the fortress, and honestly, even something basic as making a nether portal was sometimes challenging. And so in the last 2 weeks, I've been struggling, learning and pretty much trying to improve so that I can finally set my personal best. Alright, let's go back to the basics. After the failed 1 hour run, I was pretty much ready to give up. The 10 hours of accumulated failed attempts were super discouraging, so I decided to take the rest of the day off. The next day, however, things started to smoothen out. I knew that simply trying to brute force my way into a speedrun would not help me a whole lot, so I downloaded a few practice maps. There I was going to train how to one-cycle the Ender Dragon, how to build different portals, and I could also practice my crafting if I got bored of everything else. The crafting map was the one I spent the least time at. I felt like this was something that you should steadily improve over every single run, instead of spending 30 minutes learning how to craft an iron axe in 0.5 seconds instead of 1. In other words, it just wasn't one of those things that really make your speedrun that much shorter. What I did instead was learn how to build a few different portal variations. This was what really helped me during a fair share of my runs. You see, when you play on a shipwreck seed, most often you will be unable to locate a nearby lava pool. So what you wanna do instead is find a ravine with magma blocks. There you will be able to do one of the most enjoyable, in my opinion, portal builds, the 2x2 L-shaped magma portal. I mean, just seeing it light up at the bottom of the ocean is so much more satisfying than whatever the hell I'm building here. And if the portal map was the most enjoyable one, the dragon practice map was the most important one. It is the thing that makes or breaks most of the speedrun matches that I had. And yes, I did say speedrun matches as a race between people, but I'll get to that in a second. One of the biggest problems that I had last time was that it was taking me up to 10 minutes of clicking through seeds in order to find one mildly useful world. So what I did was, I downloaded a mod that turns Minecraft into a competitive speedrunning game. From here, all I had to do was queue up and wait for a match. The seeds were guaranteed to be playable, so pretty much all of my struggles were already taken care of. I'm gonna be honest, I already tried one seed, and honestly the worlds are pretty cool. With seeds like this, it's gonna be no challenge whatsoever to get a personal best. Oh, how wrong I was. I may have solved my previous problems, but now I was about to face some new challenges. You see, in MCSR, that's the name of the mod that I needed to play this, you get paired up with another person. You both race against each other to beat the same seed as fast as possible, and whoever kills the dragon first wins. But that is not the only way to win. You both have the option to forfeit at any time if you decide that you have fallen way too far behind or things are just not going your way. And it was this one button that was going to cause me some serious problems later on. When I completed my placement matches, I got a rating of roughly 800. Depending on your rating, you get different chances for certain spawns. As you get better, you encounter more shipwreck and buried treasure seeds and less village and desert temple worlds. You have the standard divisions presented by items of varying rarity, with netherite being the highest and coal being the lowest. I was placed in iron. The reason as to why all of this matters is that everyone I was playing against had pretty much never completed a run, or they had done it a long time ago, so that meant that they were not that experienced. And instead of trying to improve and get a decent time, everyone seemed to give up the moment they had made a mistake or gotten too far behind. And you cannot really finish your run if your opponent forfeits, so all that you can do is just sit there and watch a perfectly good seed go to waste. And just like that, speedrun after speedrun, my obsession with Minecraft speedrunning became a real thing. 50 hours later, I had finally managed to beat one seed. But before we get to that, let's go through some of the previous speedruns. Starting off strong with a ruined portal world, my first speedrun was quite enjoyable. I got all of the iron that I needed from the chest and quickly jumped into the nether. I found the piglin bastion in no time, and because I still had no clue how to navigate it, I drilled my way under the chests as if I'm in a Mission Impossible movie. I don't know why exactly a Mission Impossible movie, but hey, let's just throw with it, I suppose. Oh, by the way, I have no food. Remember how I said that everyone was forfeiting? Yeah, I was guilty of that as well. Attempt number 2 was short. 6 minutes into it, I was about to enter the nether when my opponent resigned out of nowhere. Anyways, let's go check attempt number 3. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, me man, Jesus. YouTube muted this part of the video, so now you're gonna listen to me singing Evenflow. Evenflow, thoughts arrive like butterflies. Luckily, the next one was better. I got all of the materials that I needed from a village close to spawn. After 6 minutes of running around for flint, I finally made my way into the nether. One spontaneous combustion later, I was in the bastion where it took me 15 minutes to trade with the piglins. Looking back on it now, this makes me feel as if I was recording a let's play episode there. I was in absolutely no hurry whatsoever. By minute 23, I was on my way to the fortress. I got all the rods necessary and quickly left in order to find a stronghold. How was I gonna find it? Well, I decided to save myself 20 to 30 minutes of wandering around, and I downloaded a calculator for this exact purpose. Its job was pretty much to do all the crazy math that I couldn't really do. I measured 4 different eyes instead of the usual 2, because I am turbo bad at it, and after 4 minutes of wandering around, I hopped back in the nether. By that moment, my opponent was already in the stronghold, asking for directions to the nearest end portal. A few minutes later, the match was over, and I lost. This was going to be the closest thing to completing a speedrun for the next 12 days. Attempt number 5 was when things started heading downhill. I was minutes behind my opponent, and while he was looting in the nether, I was enjoying the sea breeze. I had no gold armor by the time I had entered the bastion, and that made everything 10 times harder for me, so I died. Luckily, I managed to get my items back, and then I died again. And this is probably where I should have just walked away with whatever little dignity I had left, but for some reason I decided to go in for a third whooping, and so I got my ass handed to me. And you wanna know why? It's because my armor was stuck in the one block that I could not reach. And so I forfeited the match, and the next one as well, and the one after it too. I was on a pretty scary losing streak, and my hope was slowly fading away, but I could not stop. I had to get a time, and so I started over and over and over again. I made every single possible mistake time and time again. I built a 2x2 portal. I got jumped by hoglins. I didn't have enough ender pearls for a portal. I forfeited every game played the moment I died. I played game after game after game until my brain was about to melt. And still, I could not do it. I had played 50 hours with no success whatsoever. Every good run was wasted to a forfeit. Every bad match was forfeited. But then, it hit me. I could stop all of this. I could end this vicious cycle with 4 simple words. And those words were, yo man, can we not forfeit? I don't know how I didn't think of that earlier, but oh well, skill issue I suppose. Initially most people didn't even bother responding to me, and after another day of disappointing runs, I was just ready to scrap this video in general. But right before I was about to log off for the day, I told myself, hey, why not try one last speedrun? And this is when I met this absolute gigachad. RTF7. He was the first person who actually agreed to not forfeit and stayed true to his word. I spawned in a plains village and quickly got all of the materials that I needed. By the 4.5 minutes mark I was already making my way into the nether, where it took me 10 minutes to trade with the piglins. A bit past the half-hour mark I had already located the end portal, but I had another problem. Because I didn't get enough planks in the beginning, I could only make 4 beds. So that meant that I was going to have to kill the ender dragon the old-fashioned way. Fucking finally, bro. Oh my god. Man. Shout out to RTF7, man, for finally making this video possible. Oh my god. So I finally did it. After 50 hours, spanning through a period of 2 weeks, I finally managed to speedrun Minecraft. And honestly, I might try to make a sub 9 speedrun, eventually. But that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and hey, if you've made it this far, maybe consider subscribing. See you soon.